Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. We're in April 2025, week 1 of this month's Coffee and Card, which is Birthday Celebration Bundle, which is all these stamps and also some gorgeous dies and all that. I've already taken out the 16 because I'm using it today, or the 1 and 6, but lots of lovely little dies to use as well to embellish your cards. And I just love the font of these numbers. I think it's a really cute font, which is why I got it. Okay, so today we're making a fun fold card. As ever, all of the dimensions are listed down below. And if you notice, they've got a decorative edge on this rectangle. Now, this is from next month's Coffee and Card. So I've already cut it for you in your kits this month. But next month, we're going to be doing textured notes. That'll be May 2025. And on this one, other way up, we get all these rectangles and they've all got different textures on. Okay, so that's just another example. There's a stitched one that's stitched as well, but they're all different. Each one is different. So that is May 2025 Coffee and Card. I'm also planning on putting a link down below that if you want to shop any of these items, then you just click the basket and it will show you everything. The only thing I would say that if you are watching after April, this designer series paper unfortunately has been discontinued. If you are watching in April, it's worth looking. I'm filming this before the last chance products come up, but they may well be very discounted, so it's worth a look at the moment if you're still viewing in April 24, it's a year ago. Right, okay then, so we shall get started. So in your envelope you will have a whole piece of the designer series paper, so you're going to have to do some cutting up. You'll have your envelope, Stampin' Up envelope, and then a piece of Crumb Cake card, which is half a sheet of A4, so it's an A5 piece, so it's 14.85 by 21, and it's scored at the gatefold scoring, so it's 5.25 and 10. Okay, and that will give you your fold back on the front. So I am just going to burnish that fold. Okay, and then you'll also have 2 of these rectangles, so one inside and one on the front, and then a piece of Crumb Cake which is literally millimeters bigger than the rectangle, and that again, measurements down below, I think is, I've written it down, I do know, 7.2 by 11 centimeters, and that just gives the really nice narrow border, which I just thought I just wanted to see as much of the colours as I could, I think. And then you'll also have some gold foil paper to make your numbers. Okay, so I'll pop those to one side first and I'll sort out the card base. Okay, so you have this piece of designer series paper. As ever, my desk is just surrounded by rubbish that you can't see, so it's trying to find places to put everything. I'm just actually going to get my trimmer out. So you're going to cut this to 14.4 centimeters high, and I quite like the darker colours opposed to the lighter one, so I'm going to slice it off the top. Okay, so it's a 6-inch square of designer series paper, so we're going to go by 14.4. Again, measurements will be down below, and then you're going to cut off a 10 centimeter piece, and that's for the back of the card, and then a 4.7 centimeters, so the piece you have is just slightly longer than that. And there we go, so there's your pieces, and these now need to stick on your card base. So pop this away because I don't need it anymore. You will have the merest of smidges left. The merest of smidges. Now, I had planned on doing dark at the top on both, and then I accidentally put the back one on the other way around, but I quite like that they're different ways, so that we've got the dark at the bottom inside and then the darker at the top on the outside. So I'm going to repeat that. Have a play, see which you prefer. You may even prefer to do that on one of them, or maybe sort of the plainer on the back and the more patterned on the front. It's up to you. Have a play. So I like this. It's called a joy fold, and it's just such a simple card design that packs a wow. I think you're not going to see many in the shops like this. Okay, so let's lift this up. Oh. Yeah. Okay, let's just get rid of that. All fingers and thumbs today, I don't know why. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop that, as I say, with the reds towards the top on the front. Like that. Sorry, going off the screen there. Reds at the top. There we go. Okay, so I think that looks really nice. And then we're going to put the central rectangle in, just in the, and it just goes in the middle on the back there. And we're going to use that as a guide when we come to stick on the front rectangle. Okay, if you want to put stamping on this before you glue it in, feel free. Okay. So I'm just doing this by eye. Probably, maybe, yeah, it looks straight enough. Good enough for government work. Right, okay, so I'll pop that to one side, and then I am going to die cut my number. Now this time, as I said, I'm going to do a 16, so I'll pop those both there. Let's find the gold foil is here. I've got my, so this will work with the mini machine because they are quite narrow dies. Oops. So, just going to get the 1 and the 6. And I've got my dies here on a little magnet sheet on the side, which is where I tend to chuck my dies when I'm working, otherwise you end up losing them. So a friend of mine did a reel the other day, and she's bought one of these magnetic wristbands that you use for storing tools and put that round her bigger cut and emboss machine. So it's got a line of magnets at the top and you can just chuck it, and they're really strong magnets, so they just stay. So that's really good. Now I've put, yeah, they've just moved slightly apart, so that's good. Just double checking they're not overlapping as you go through, because you do not want to break your dies. Okay, so there we go. Woo! Pop that safe, so it's not going to go anywhere. Get this off. That's safe. Put that down the side, then it's out of the way. And I'm going to get my stamping piece here. So the colours I used on my original card are Night of Navy and Melon Mambo. I'm going to use those again. There's loads of colours, so have a play with what you've got in your stash and what you want to use. So first of all, just going to roughly position these where they are going to go, and we'll do some stamping. So yeah, the Hooray does fit on a smaller block. So as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I've already seen next the catalogue that goes live on at the beginning of May. Lots and lots of scrapbooking for you scrapbookers out there. But some gorgeous sweets for those of us who don't. I'm just going to move that slightly down because it's in the way. Okay, so hooray! So yeah, and it says for your, I'd have really liked Stampin' Up! If you're listening, it's your 14th birthday rather than for your 14th birthday. I still like it, but when I rule the world, it will say it's your. My ink pad's piled up here. Okay, and again I'm going to come and look through my lamp. It's just sorry, I can't line up stamps and speak at the same time. I do most other things and speak at the time, but not line up stamps. I've only just mastered fussy cutting and breathing at the same time, so hey, I digress. Right. Okay, and now I'm going to get my Night of Navy ink out, and I'm going to do, so to stick now or to hang on a bit longer, I think I'll do the TH. So I want my numbers to be roughly that height, so we need to be able to fit in the TH and the, because the 14th gives you a lovely gap here to put your TH, whereas the 16th doesn't. So I think I'm going to have to, let's just see, for your, so your will still fit in there. So I'll put the TH sort of towards the edge there. So I'm going to put the TH there. Then I'm going to stick on my numbers. Then I will do the for your. So. And it's the same with most card making. You're building up a picture with your different elements. So we'll go with the 6 first. I'm just using a needle glue just to pop some little dots. And just paying attention to your ends and the middle of your curves. And then I've got my tweezers here so that I can lift that up. And I'm using a wet glue so that I've got a bit of wriggle room with my glue. I didn't really need it there. So that's the 6th, and now we'll do the 1. And then I'll finish off the stamping. So I'm just going to put the 1 there. Okay, just next to the 16, and then we're going to come in with 4 and your. I'm going to do your first because I think that's a bit bigger. I'm going to put that down towards the bottom of the 1 and then fit the 4 above. So I'm sort of going sort of just below the middle of the 1, and then I'll go just above the middle of the 1. You can put them both on the same stamp block, but then I find that they're a bit too spaced out. If you've got the edge of both stamps, you see, if you can see from there, there's a rim round the stamp, so you end up with quite a big gap between the 2 words. Get out of the way before I put my finger in it. Right, looking through my light. So I'm actually positioning this where the stamp overlaps. The edge of the stamp is actually obscuring the top of the your. So hooray for your 16th birthday. And then the gems we're using this week are the metallic gems, which have disappeared. What I've done with them? They are here. And I've given you a strip, so keep hold of it. You need it all month. So I think I've used everyone except those 2 gems this month. So I can start again. So I've used the gold ones here. So little pokey tool. Used a big one at the bottom, just underneath the B, in the corner there, and then 2 of the little gold ones in the top corner there, just to finish off. Just chasing them round again. I know my friend Rachel commented on a video that she spends half the time chasing gems around the desk as well. It's not just me. Right. Okay, so I'm now going to stick this onto my crumb cake piece. And the reason I like these metallic gems is they're quite flat. because sometimes the bigger the gems, the deeper they are, so they can cause problems with your envelopes and problems when you're sending it through the post. Whereas these are a nice flat gem. Right, so I'm just going to stick this onto here. And as I say, it's a very, very, very narrow border. I thought it needed a border, but I wanted to minimise the cover-up of the Fancy Designer Series paper. So I went for the smallest, I think it is literally like 1 millimetre all the way around. And then we need to stick it onto the front. So this is our magic trick with Joyfold cards. So we just want glue on this side of the card, and we don't want any of it to come through and impinge on the back. So what I do is I'll put some glue down that side there, and then I'm going to put glue using this piece as a guide because this is going to be covered, and I'm just putting glue along that edge there so that won't seep out and cover up and go on to the rest of the card and cause problems with it not opening properly. And this just fits on. Right, so I am going to line this up with the piece underneath and just overlapping slightly so you can't see it. And there we go. Press that down. Absolutely no glue here. Okay, so that's perfect. It opens beautifully. So there we go, a 14 and a 16. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.